I was about to ask you, is Spider a hip hop artist?
I think Spider.
Question.
This is a very good question, actually.
Yeah.
This is a very good question. This is a very good debate. Very interesting debate. I would say Spider. Yes, Spider is a hip hop artist. Yeah.
What makes him a hip hop artist?
Whenever I see him, is doing community events that teach. To me, that's a very, very important hip hop element. When he raps, his subject matter. He's borderline reggae, but we all know how closely hip hop is linked to reggae, right? And he has hip hop joints that he drops on. Nefuulira bars nga zitudde kuki ku ngoma. And I think he's more in. I would classify him more into indigenous hip hop than urban or boom bap or any of the other sub genres of hip hop.
Because of his background.
Yeah.
So if you're explaining that to someone who just listens to the music,
and hip hop is not just music. That's the problem.
I'm saying like to a fan who
Yeah.
is like, okay, play me some hip hop music.
Yes. I would play him the joints that he played that are hip hop. The way that I see Spider, I could be wrong, but the way that I see him, Mlabanga Q-tip. Very down to earth.
Yeah, multi-talented.
Multi-talented. Could go R&B, could do reggae, could do whatever, but naina gamba in my essence and my spirit, I'm hip hop. Yeah, that's how I see him. Probably he's okubanga defining na chilala, but if I'm looking from the outside looking in, that's what I see.
Yeah.
What do you think?
The whole reason why I asked that, it's a wider, it's not even just it's not confusing for me, but for a wider spectrum of the hip hop community.
Yeah.
When it comes to music specifically, because most of the guys who are on top, right, the top tier guys in the music right now, like hitting.
But there's that hip hop community which is toxic in Uganda.
The one that is toxic?
Okay,
before
the music, first finish before we get there.
Before we get to that one, like, ask somebody.
Before we get to the toxicity,
ask somebody,
city,
somebody was arguing. I was like, let's say, for example, Fefe. I asked some guy, like, let me Fefe's hip hop tracks, hip hop music that is done.
Yeah.
So in my mind, I'm like, but I told him, because we're talking about authenticity and originality.
Yes. Yeah.
So I was like, no, don't bring me who is who, because that was a bit,
Nas's bit.
Fefe tells the story of how it came about. It wasn't really,
Yeah.
So in my mind, I was like, no, like, not even hating or looking for something to pin the guy down. I'm like, no, just regularly, like, just a track you could drop, but it's not really like international beat or copied here and
His
there.
own.
Yeah, and it was hard to put up like even like 5 songs per se. You understand?
Yes, Idi Amini, Dada.
Is Pretty a hip hop song?
Nah.
Pretty.
Nah. Pretty is like King
Fefe Busi
Saha's
featuring
vibe.
Saha.
I don't know it.
Who is featuring the other? It's Saha's, remixed by Fefe.
Remix,
I like that song.
Yeah. So you'll see a pattern of several artists. When you start to look into it, you're like, if we start to dissect, like, homeboy, we're being played right now. We're being played.
The views, opinions, and whatever shared on this podcast are not necessarily
hip hop is real talk, though.
No, but here's the thing. Here's the thing. Let me tell you why. Let me tell you why Fefe is hip hop. I kind of respect people for what they bring to the genre, right?
Yeah.
To grow it.
Yeah.
And also in terms of the persistence and the consistency, right? When tunulira rappers, right? Abaze over generations. There's so many that have come and gone, right? But it's not for me just the longevity of that the person stays on track with Nabira Banga then. It's what did you do when you were coming through? And what did you bring to the table that wasn't really in the forefront? What did you do to further the movement?
Yeah.
And I can give you 2 moments at least that Fefe has showed up and represented. It's soca, he's Nas beat. Kale ugambe mbuno international, but that moment was real. It was legit, and it was heard all over the country.
Actually, that moment gave me like a chance to blow up an artist.
Yeah. It gave him a chance to blow up an artist, Rachel Ray. But for so many other people, it brought the conversation back, right? So that's one, and that's a hip hop conversation, by the way. And that was a hip hop conversation. So that's one.
Some hip hop fans.
Yeah. That was a
It
hip.
was-
Listen.
yeah.
And Shimani hardline hip hop.
Not even hardline, like the basic of it. Yeah.
Whatever rapper can also
it-
more convincing. And
No, let me. Gee, you've been in LA.
No, but
You've
I'm
been in
giving
LA.
you-
If
even
somebody
if-
dropped,
even in LA, there's that
Yeah.
conversation still happening. But
Yeah.
Yakubu's there's some people who don't believe who's this guy? Designer is hip hop. Panda. But Panda's impact.
no, if you're talking about impact,
But you cut me short. I was giving you that.
Yeah,
I'm telling
yeah,
you that he
sorry.
brought something to the table,
yeah,
furthered the conversation
Yeah.
of this very culture that we love.
yeah,
That's one. Echo Kubiri, besides that moment, which ignited so many people.
For him, it wasn't intentional though. It just came as a
Whether it was intentional
caught
or
up in
not,
it
whether
as
it was
well.
intentional or not,
yeah.
he brought it out. He did it. Actually, he made a decision to record it, and he did it.
Yeah.
Kati fe abamanyi hip hop olututuulira ne line ezimu ezasooka ngamba waneno Fefe wayitirako ewa Jay-Z takeover okitegeera. But he made that decision, and that decision rang all over the country. So respect on that. That's a hip hop moment that he created. Second thing he did, the art of the freestyle was brought back to the ethos.
Apart from that,
You're
for me-
saying the art of hip hop was of freestyle.
No. In terms of freestyling, right? I've had so many rappers freestyling. Nga biba freestyling nga bibowa
tebiriyo.
nga bakuba kyekimu okitegeera. And then there are people who freestyle, and it's entertaining. When Fefe freestyles, it's entertaining, it's crowd engaging, and in the elements of hip hop, MCing is actually moving a crowd.
Yeah.
So if he's actually doing that on a daily, I think he freestyles on all of his shows. Every time he's on interview, he's freestyling, right? And he has inspired so many other people to freestyle. So, am I answering your question? Freestyling is a part of hip hop, right? Crowd participation, moving the crowd, is a mark of an MC.
Maybe moving the crowd.
I haven't.
His
I haven't,
freestyles haven't
and
hit me
also
so
for
much,
the
really.
moment that he created in hip hop, whether he wanted to or he didn't, he created it, and that's that. Ezo stars ezagenda azejjuzako naye okitegeera.